60. We have a spot here that's around 8 feet long, which we have asphalt cement which has come up to the surface. It's going to be very interesting to look at the core which we obtained from particularly from the second borehole back up beyond the end of the test section, because we're doing that in the wheel path and we may be able to see any evidence of stripping if that is indeed occurring here. Okay, looking up beyond here towards Station 1, around 1+20 on up ahead, you may see a couple of other areas that are, well, mostly within the inside wheel path, which apparently will have some asphalt cement pooled up on the surface as well. I will be taking some still photographs of this just to try and take that back and see how they come out and use those for illustrative purposes. I strongly suspect that we will have something done to this pavement within the next several years, so it should be a good one to watch as it's starting to tail off in terms of its performance. This over here around 1+60 is not really of any interest to us. It's a little bit of possum on the half shell. I know I shouldn't say that on these films, but I can't help it. We got a skid mark right here, right at the beginning of the test section. This is a picture of the core turned upside down, or actually a video picture of it, since I am shooting it rather than shooting a different picture, if you understand that. And what was indicated on the plans is a total of 10 inches of hot mix asphalt concrete, and that appears to be right on the money according to what we have here. This again was taken between the wheel paths, and one doesn't suspect to see signs of things like I described just previously, because there aren't no evidence of that happening in this portion of the wheel path. I'm anxious to see what we get though on the next one, because we intentionally set that drill hole to be in the outer wheel path where we have the most rutting apparent. As I'm walking back up towards the end of the test section there where we'll examine the second core, something which is a little bit more evident visually when looking at it from this angle with the type of lighting we have is the incidence of, I guess we should term it as raveling, although it's not something occurring over an area so much as it is with individual pieces of coarse aggregate having popped out of the surface in here. You may be able to see it somewhat clearly in this. It's visible, or quite visible with the naked eye. It may not be looking at it in this manner. When one looks up here, looking at it from this direction, it appears like there's been some slight flushing in the inside wheel path. What it is, again, though, as we mentioned several times over throughout here, is that's those little cracks, or what appears to be cracks, which have been sealed up with asphalt cement, appear to be. Stop up here around Station 3 and turn around and look back. Apologize for the quick view, but you can see what I'm talking about. Very interesting situation. I've never quite seen anything like this before. The second core taken, which was pulled around 70 feet downstream of the test section approximately. The thickness here is somewhat less than it was back in the middle, in between wheel paths over in the first core, which was upstream of the test section. Thickness here is around 9 1/4 inches as opposed to 10 inches on the plans, and 10 inches in between the wheel paths that we found back behind us. But you can see on a smaller scale what I was talking about in terms of places where we have a lot of asphalt cement, which appears to be filling in some locations between aggregate. You can kind of see the pattern on there just looking at the surface at the darker areas over towards the left there. Out now with the ruler right there, and particularly right in there And now to set it down on its side and try to show what it looks like at that area, you can see for one thing that the upper layer in here is a much darker color than these down here, and they're about equally damp. And then down in here we see some places where some of the material almost looks like it's honeycomb. There's some little gaps in there. I don't know if that's a result of the coring operation or what, but it seems like there's, it just comes out very easily right in there, much easier than it should just by playing around with it. See some other locations up here.